Hopefully I'll do better than last time I had on a communist where I got completely the shit kicked out of me after work.
What?
I don't know, I got into an argument on Twitter, and Dark Scythe from the commentary community wanted to talk, and he's like, so, you ready to go? I'm like, no. I refused to pull out again, though, after the Medicare thing, so I'm just going to show up and take the beating. He was a good sport about it, nonetheless. So,
Uh,
where do you want to
you
start?
already? Well, I think you already tried to imply that I was a communist, apparently, which I'm not.
Oh, like, right? I'd heard that from some of your peers. My entire mistake. What do you what is your
Here?
political leaning?
Social democracy. Why?
All right, you'll have to explain to me. I'm a layperson. I don't know what social democracy would be specifically.
So I can explain it this way. You have many elements, or I would say most elements, I guess, of a capitalist society with some social aspects, like with social safety nets, for example, some agencies, or many agencies, and also trying to regulate some, but not all aspects of how society works as we know it right now. That's basically what it is. Now, if you want to try to equate that with, I don't know, an authoritarian state, that's not going to fly because you're just objectively incorrect. I mean, if you want to call almost every other developed country, and to an extent, our country, communist, I mean, you could go ahead and try to do that, but you're going to make yourself look like an ass doing it.
I mean, did I do that?
I mean, I don't know. It sounded like you're already trying to equate social democracy with communism. I don't know, man.
I I referred to Bernie Sanders' social reforms as communist. Suddenly he became a country somehow? I'm curious.
He became a country. Did I refer to Bernie Sanders as a country?
Well, you said that I was referring to countries. I referred to Bernie Sanders, and then you said I said countries.
Well, in terms of like me discussing ideology in the broad scope of everything, I mean,
That's
yeah,
why I
I'm
was
gonna definitely
completely
bring up.
confused when you started bringing up individual countries, and I was like, I don't remember specifically mentioning. I mentioned Fidel Castro. I specifically
I
didn't
mean,
mention
oh, I
Cuba.
mean, oh, you want to talk about specifically the tweets? Is that what you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, if you'd like. That's why I was a bit
Okay.
confused, because we started off at the very beginning of or at least the Twitter argument was about Bernie Sanders, correct?
Okay. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I guess we could start there. So let's bring up the whole Fidel Castro thing. What did he say in that interview? You know, talk about it with me here. What did he say?
Well, okay. So I've had a little time since you gave me 40 minutes. Thank you. I actually managed to use that a little bit.
Uh huh.
That his whole point on the whole Bernie Sanders thing here, I found this.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're able to stream here, right?
Yes. Why?
One sec. Let me open up Chrome.
Okay. I think you also said a little bit earlier if you wanted to talk about the primary itself and what's going on right now. I can do that too.
Okay.
If you want to get to that later.
Well, sure. One sec. I'm just waiting to skip an ad.
Okay. Let me guess. Is it I'm once again asking for your contribution?
Let me take a look. It is... No, it's just add water. Whatever the fuck it is. So...
Okay.
Oh, good.
Once again, asking for
526.
your
I have two
financial support.
timestamps set up for this. Forgive the channel, but I feel that the point here is good. One sec. So let's see. Chrome. Boom. Don't worry, you won't have to
Okay.
listen to him long. All right.
Okay.
Oh, one sec.
Will that cost?
Obviously, those are expensive propositions, but we have done our best on issue after issue in paying for them.
Do you know how much though? I mean, do you have a price tag for all of this?
We do. I mean, you know, and the price tag is, it will be substantially less than letting the current system go. I think it's about 30 trillion.
That's just for Medicare for all.
Just
you're talking
Medicare
about.
for all, yes.
Do you have a price tag for all of these things?
No, I don't. We try to, no.
Bernie has talked about providing health care for free from the government.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Yes. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on a minute. Where's the rest of the clip?
That's what I got from that.
What are you fucking retarded? What? Okay, fine. Let's keep going.
Yeah, no, I've actually peeked around. There's a couple of different parts where he quotes various trillions of dollars as different statements and stuff. So, am I going to hold it against him that he couldn't remember specific numbers? I mean, I would have done a
because
much better job.
There's a lot of numbers here to discuss. I mean, do you want me to elaborate a little bit more that what he couldn't do, you know, during the 60 minutes thing, or?
Okay, so here, I want you to be able to respond to this next part. Is it, by the way, I think this is Dean Koontz or whatever his damn name is. I forget the other guy's name, but here, I'll continue.
Liberal-leaning Urban Institute scored Bernie's health plan, concluded it would cost $2.5 trillion in the first year and $32 trillion over 10 years. All of the federal income taxes we pay today are about $1.5 trillion a year. Every one of us paying income taxes would have to about triple what you pay in income taxes to get an additional $2.5 trillion. Now, Bernie, no doubt, is going to come back and say, no. None of you are going to pay. Just the rich. Well, how about if we took every person that makes over $1 million a year and confiscated 100% of their income, took every penny that they make? That would raise only enough money to fund Bernie's plan for 5 months. Here's another idea.
Okay, there you go. What would your rebuttal?
What? Okay, so are we talking about Medicare for all specifically?
I'm assuming that's what he's specifically talking about, yes.
Okay, so around, I think it was the national health expenditures over the next 10 years.
Okay.
With the system that we have currently, costs roughly around $52 trillion. Okay. I mean, do you want me to start listing? You want me to start handing out sources, or because I'm assuming that's what you would want me to do, right?
Sure, if you've got it.
Okay, hold on a moment.
Or were you talking under Obamacare?
Under Obamacare, with what we have currently, yes, and also, well, yeah, because right now we have a quasi-public option.
Yes.
I guess you could say. Where the hell do they have that? All right, here you go. Here is a .gov website that'll tell you mostly everything that you should need. Aside from that, in terms of what Cruz is talking about, like, oh no, we're just gonna take like 100% tax. Like, no, that's not the case here. What the actual proposal for Medicare for all is so if you were to say, current federal, state, and local governments in total spending around, let's say over the next 10 years is projected to be about $30 trillion.
Okay.
And the revenue options that he has proposed would be about roughly $17.5 trillion. Okay.
So you're saying that we stand to save $13 trillion.
Oh no, the revenue itself that I'm talking about is the amount that his proposals in terms of raising taxes on specific things would raise a total of that amount.
Oh, so in addition to.
So yeah, so let me discuss here. So let's say here, when you eliminate health tax expenditures, so when you pay for private health insurance, you're basically paying a private tax because you have to pretty much pay for it. And if you don't, you're going to get even more butt fucked when you go to the hospital. Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I think you should completely understand that. So when you raise, let's say, the top marginal tax, do you know what a marginal tax is?
No, go ahead, take it.
A marginal tax is when you make above X amount of money, you will pay Y amount of money in income tax. So let's say in the golden era of economics, I believe it was after World War II in the 50s and the 60s, or before that, I don't exactly remember when the marginal tax rate was relatively high in a golden era of economics. That doesn't make much sense with what we hear about this. That doesn't make very much sense at all. But in terms of what this proposed marginal tax rate would have, all right, so what it would be 52% on income over $10 million. Okay. This isn't, we're going to come and take all of your money. Fuck no. That's not what this is. That's a complete and utter fucking straw man. All right. In terms of how much that would raise, what was it? There's so many fucking numbers. Jesus Christ. The proposed 99.8% Act would raise roughly about $2.5 trillion over the next 10 years. Enacting corporate tax reform.
Can I ask a practical question though?
What?
I asked this before. Is Bernie Sanders the guy who will be able to explain this and sell this to the public at large? Since you even explained,
I think if you give him enough time, like to actually be on the debate stage and talk about this in detail, then I think he absolutely would. The problem is that, let's say we have a debate like the ones in October where you had like 10 or 12 people on the fucking stage, which is pretty crazy already.
Aren't they down
And
to like
you
two?
only have, yeah, they're down to 2 now, but I'm not sure how much time they're going to give each candidate to speak. But besides the point, I don't think you can really explain that in like 1 to even 10 minutes. That's a very long conversation to have, isn't it?
No, I absolutely understand that, but in failing being able to explain those very serious topics, you have to have I guess a delegate or am I using the right term here? No, someone running the face who's going to be able to get something across to the voting masses, and is, for better or for worse, Bernie Sanders the guy to do that?
He himself, in many cases, I have unfortunately seen him not doing the best job of doing that. I will absolutely admit, I think that he needs more time, I guess, to really like look over like what he has laid out, because it's a very wide proposal, isn't it? It's a pretty wide proposal, especially for from what we have. We have a transition from a quasi public option that is dominated by the health insurance company to a single payer system. That's a pretty big transition.
Why do you think that people are so terrified of single payer?
I think people are terrified of single payer because it is a common fear to have when you see the government, oh no, the government is doing a thing that will, I guess, increase its leverage over X part of the, the society that we live in. I think that's a logical fear. However, at the same time, if we were to view, let's say, other systems where single payer has indeed been successful, I think that could definitely quell the fears. But I think people in the U.S. especially are drinking the neocon Kool-Aid a little bit too much when it comes to how much influence the health insurance industry has over the people and also the government. It's fucking insane. Like, when you look at FEC data for how much money health insurance companies pour into lobbying, it's fucking insane. Millions upon millions of dollars being funneled into senators and congressmen. It's fucking crazy. It's criminal. I fucking hate it. I mean, do you think that's
Well, I wanted to go back because you said neocon, new conservative. I thought this was basically an old fear of basically having single payer. That doesn't sound like something that's new. That sounds like something that's rooted in the base of, I guess, the Conservative Party.
When I say neocon, from what I have viewed in terms of the history of conservatism in the United States, I see that neocons have, I guess, assembled around Reagan around that point in time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that's how I have viewed it, and that's how I've always used the term. I've seen people in other cases use the term differently. I think that's
I'm fully prepared to admit I'm probably wrong. I'm just looking at the base word is, new conservative is how people are trying to explain it as. So
I think it's completely subjective, but the reason why I say it began there was because when Reagan came into office, or somewhere around the time during his presidency, he famously said that the era of big government is over, right? Yeah, he said the era of big government is over, and this snowball effect of conservatism, or what we see as new, like kind of this new kind of conservatism in the U.S., really started with him. From what I can observe, and what I can tell, during like when he was speaking to people and whatnot, and it definitely worked out for him. He won a pretty big landslide victory in his next election. But then at the same time, we also have, I would call it neoliberalism. I would say starting around with Bill Clinton. I remember like one of his big things were, I'm a new kind of Democrat. I guess I'm more of a moderate, you guess you could say. And it worked out for him. 90s like democratic politics really worked out for them, I guess, for the most part.
I have a question there too, because I've talked to conservatives will try and sit there and say that Newt Gingrich balanced the budget. Who do you lay that at? Who do you give credit for that on that?
On who balanced the budget?
Yeah, because it did happen during the Bill Clinton era.
I don't. Depending on how you define balancing the budget, I don't think really anybody has. I don't exactly have very much say in that conversation. to be honest. I think that the budget has always been getting fucky wucky with, oh, let's pour funds into this, or let's cut this constantly, like cutting Social Security constantly, cutting Medicaid constantly, pouring more money into the military. I don't think it's ever been balanced per se, but at the same time, what you see as balance is, again, completely subjective. So that's why I don't really toss my hand into the ring there.
Okay. I'll give you that one. So let's see. I think I derailed that whole thing there. I'm terribly sorry on that.
That's okay.
Just the last time that I really talked to Bernie, it was generally the stance I'd heard was he's good enough. What would you like to see him change?
One of the first things that I would like to see him change is the position on foreign policy, to the extent of, how about we stop cucking to the military industrial complex and GTFO out of the Middle East, for fuck's sake. And more than just the Middle East as well. Stop using the CIA to topple democratically elected governments simply because you don't like them. You don't like the way that they're treating your foreign policy goals, so I'm just going to overthrow them. Fuck it, whatever, fuck them. No one's going to care anyway.
I can understand to a point and degree. I mean, we used to have the Red Scare as a big excuse. It was like, well, we have to go over there, but it seems like even in the downfall of, the communism, we haven't seemed to have taken a hands off since then. So yeah.
No, we have not. Like, it was kind of weird too, because both countries were obviously doing it in the Cold War. I see it as less of a battle of ideologies, as more of who has the largest dick in the spheres of influence, because that's pretty much what it was. Did I kill you?
No, I'm basically was sitting there debating whether I wanted. I was like, do I want to get into a whole freaking Cold War argument, because that's a long discussion.
That's a very long discussion. But I think we were going to get into the primaries at some point.
Yeah. I believe the guy's name was Buttigieg, was the one I was holding out hopes for, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg. Yeah.
Who were you hopeful for, if not Bernie?
Nobody else.
That's not an unfamiliar stance. Are you just gonna stay home that day?
I'll probably walk up to my polling precinct and either write in Vermin Supreme.
Well, there are other people running for office. I'm sure that there's other people even at a more local level that there'd be something else besides the president that you'll want to vote for.
Perhaps. Oh, you mean like for senators?
Mm-hmm.
Or in terms of, let's say, I don't even think that there's senators running in Missouri. I don't remember. I do know that usually representatives, I think every 2 years here. I'm a little bit fucky wucky on those, but not particularly. Usually in my area, there's nobody that's grassroots funded. Like in places like, I don't know, let's say Vermont or New York, it's kind of depressing over here. Well, I haven't really cared.
Even in lieu of not having any good choices, there's always worse decisions. So I guess.
Oh yeah.
I know that's a horrible way to hype up going out to vote, but
it's like vote for the lesser of two evils. I wonder what you could be referring to.
I wasn't specifically singling out this election. I've had to do that a couple of I've had to do that before. When I had a certain house guest, I broke away from the hospital to go vote, and I'm very proud of that, because that decision aged a lot better. Anyways.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, older people go out and vote more, man.
Hey, I think I missed the very first election when I turned of age, and I don't know, felt bad about it. It's not necessarily an age thing. It just call me a dupe for falling for the propaganda. I feel like I want to have the right to bitch that I voted, as opposed to just stayed home and complained.
Oh yeah, I think it is very ridiculous how many people just don't vote, but yet they complain about, like, oh, X person won, so I'm gonna be mad that Y person lost. I think that was very much apparent in 2016.
Did you have you felt specifically that it's been, Well, I've managed to live through the Bush years, junior and senior, that this was anywhere near as bad as that.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Wait. Ask the question again. I thought you were
I
going to
was,
trail off on
I was
something.
like, wow, I didn't think I made that too long to tone out. Did if we're lumping all Republicans as neocons, would you feel that the 4 years that we've had so far with Donald Trump has been an aggravating experience anywhere near this, say, the Bush years?
I wouldn't know simply because I was too young to really comprehend what it was like actually viewing the political landscape
That was my answer when
during
you
the
started
Bush years.
talking about Reagan. When I was like, ah, shit. If he starts saying, well, didn't you live for that? I'm like, barely. I was a fetus.
Well, at the same time, I never really looked at the Bush years all too much. I liked looking at it. It is more interesting for me to look at like 70s politics, 80s politics. Not too much in depth, like that much, but it is still like interesting to learn like how specific individuals transformed the societal landscape on how people think about what is being done or what should be done.
Are,
That's more of what I'm aiming for here.
are we talking more about Carter or Ford or what specifically?
Reagan.
Okay.
I mean, all I know about Carter is is that he created the Department of Energy and he got fucked in the second election. Like he had a serious primary challenger that almost kicked his ass. Like an incumbent president that almost lost their primary. Like what? Like when do you see that?
He wasn't massively beloved by the time of the second election. I don't have it completely memorized. As you get closer and closer to more modern times, even though I was a history major, the less and less they'll really talk about outside of, off the cuff comments to the class. And Carter isn't exactly the person that you'll be like, I'd like to watch a video on this guy or read a book about him. Like, he just doesn't.
Yeah, because all you're gonna see is this guy was a failure. This guy failed in his administration, but I'm like, I don't really know like what his goal was, like what his actual goals were. Besides, well, I mean, he created a department.
I'd like to be able to talk down to you, but you're absolutely right. That's basically right where I feel on Carter. I want to know more, but every time I start to look, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I didn't bother.
Yeah, what I guess like for being aggravated towards the Trump years right now, I'm not like reading to the skies like about much. Besides, I'm viewing like what he's doing in office. The kind of people that he's appointing to positions like. I don't know, let's say the Secretary of Education is a massive bitch who basically bought her way into that position. The amount of money that the DeVos family funneled into the senators that were voting, on whether or not that she would be in this position was fucking crazy. Like it was criminal. I viewed it as criminal. I don't like the only reason you're there is not because somebody saw you. Oh yeah, no, I think you'd be great for this position, for this big Department of Education. No, it's because you just gave me a shit ton of money.
On that note, I've actually heard the biggest problem in politics right now is it's lobbyists that everyone's aware of, but it's never going to be like the primary pull that's going to be like the major argument of debate. Everyone can agree that this faction shouldn't be able to influence things as much, but talking about it doesn't put asses in the seat, so to speak.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that when you look at these like either Republican debates, Democratic debates, or even the main presidential debates, can you even count how many times like I guess in the past 10 years that they've ever asked a question about money in politics pertaining to like campaign contributions and lobbying? I can't name a single time.
Maybe in broad brushstrokes, clean up the swamp or whatever the saying was.
Yeah, which was complete and utter horseshit.
I assumed that they talked about it, and I just tuned out and didn't, because it's kind of like watching a series. If you miss one or two, you're completely lost at a point. And I was like, maybe it's there, maybe I'm just dumb and have ADD. But if you're telling me you watch them all and it's not there, okay, I could believe that too, I suppose.
I don't watch all of them, but from the ones that I've seen, it's like, is nobody going to talk about the issue of lobbying? Is nobody going to talk about the issue of super PACs and campaign contributions? No, I will get to see some candidates talking about the influence of big money in politics. One of them being Bernie, of course. It's just not enough. I don't think that many people really cover it that much. It's kind of embarrassing almost. Like, and even to an extent of like like let's say campaigns giving money to, I don't know, let's say entities that are involved openly in elections, like let's say the Iowa. You remember how much of a fucking disaster the Iowa caucuses were, right?
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah, they were a fucking disaster. And there were some suspicions that Pete Buttigieg cheated because his campaign gave around, I think it was a little bit over $40,000 to the company that was responsible for creating the application used to keep track of the votes in the caucus. I can't prove that he objectively cheated, but there are some grounds to say that he fucking cheated. I don't know how that is even allowed to have a campaign give an enormous amount of money to a fucking company that created the application to keep track of the fucking votes. That should not be allowed. That is fucking AIDS.
I thought the way that they got around like super PACs is that you had to like funnel it back through multiple different other companies or some other shit, or
yeah, it's like all how it's more of a special interest. Like I think a number of entities have to pour their money into one entity, which is legally allowed to pour money into a campaign because it doesn't come from one person. I'm not exactly educated on it, how it works to a point, but it is basically a workaround because the max amount that you can contribute legally, I think, is $2,000 on the individual level. So the way to get around that is to just funnel money into a PAC and then hand all that money to the campaign that you want to donate to, or quote donate to. Totally not bribe, by the way.
When did that come in? Was that during the Reagan years, or for the?
Oh fuck! Hell if I know. I know that lobbying has been around for hundreds of years. It's nothing new.
But I know it's gotten worse, though. It's
gotten progressively worse. But in terms of super PACs, I'm not exactly sure. All I know is that they have been a problem for, I guess, X amount of times, to where they are definitely influencing the campaigns that they're giving money to. You would definitely have to check like websites like, I don't know, Open Secrets that keep track of FEC data, or just check the FEC data yourself, because those super PACs and those campaigns are legally required to post where the fuck they're getting their money from. So that would definitely be a thing to check out.
Do you feel that there's something specifically either Bernie isn't getting through, or there's something mechanic in the system that's, something shady is going on, or he's just not getting over?
Like it was rigged like 2016, you mean? Or
well, I want to comment on one thing on that. Him stepping down, I mean, you're supposed to eventually give way, for better, for worse. I had a college professor who said one of the things that Nixon did, and this was a shot at I believe Gore, even when Nixon lost to JFK, there was like little things in there like, oh, this isn't exactly right. You were expected at some point to step down and throw your support to the winning side for the good of the party. So
yes.
It's fun to chide Bernie supporters for that, but he's supposed to do that at some point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said, so he has two stances depending on how it's going to turn out in the end, and it probably is going to mean that Biden's going to be the nominee in the end anyways. It would take a miracle for him to bounce back at this point, but aside from that,
Biden could say something dumb enough, I suppose.
I don't know. Or he dies. I don't know.
Yeah.
You fucking coronavirus about to, kill his ass.
Well, we do keep hearing that if you're severely old and he feels like
oh yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked. Okay, but aside from that,
yes.
So either let's say that he actually ends up coming out in the end, miraculously, he gets more delegates. Even if it's a little bit, he's not going to concede because he has the view of, all right, if I get the most votes / delegates, I should be the nominee regardless. I basically won. That's democracy. That's how I see.
So it just runs independent. I'm surprised he didn't the first time, I guess, theoretically.
But if he does not get the most delegates and the other person wins, then yeah, no, I will absolutely back the nominee. That's what I think that we should do. We should not fight each other when, the big opponent incumbent is sitting right over there laughing at you. Now, how I see it, like, do I see it as a betrayal? No, I do see it as a bit of hypocrisy because, like, you want to stand up to special interests, yet you will end up siding with people who are funded by special interests in the end. That is a bit bad. However, I think that he holds the goal of defeating Trump in the general election higher than fighting amongst the party. I think that's what he holds it as. Now, you could ask a multitude of people that have different views on like, you know, what he is going with, but that's all I can really tell. I'm not particularly, you know, one to rage about the fact that he's doing that. I'm like, if he said he was going to do it, then, well, if he does it, that means he was at least being honest. At the same time, though, it does hurt for the small bit of hypocrisy. But I mean, that's the way things are.
Did you say you're from Vermont?
I am not from Vermont. I'm from Missouri, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, feel free to make chide fun of me, but the YouTuber who usually talks about Bernie Sanders actually mentions about how expensive it is over there all the damn time. And I was like, well, it's firsthand experience. It's more than I have.
What, Vermont?
Yeah. Isn't that where Bernie, what was he, like a governor or some shit out of there, specifically?
So he was the mayor of Burlington, and then he moved on to be a representative in the House and then the Senate.
Okay. I'm assuming he wasn't the House Speaker.
Oh, no, don't. Not in a million fucking years. They would never let him be the House Speaker. He would fuck everything up for both parties, man. He would fuck up so much shit because the House Speaker can do a lot of things with bills. Like, they can just straight up decide, no, we're not voting on this. Fuck you. You know, they can do a lot of things.
All I know is it's a really important position, but I haven't really gone into the major, you know, the nitty and the gritty and the details of it all.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we went through everything?
I mean, if you want to keep going, I'm in no rush. Like, I was just in the middle of doing some modeling for, you know, Star Wars Legion minis. I'm not in a rush for it.
Okay, yeah. Let me fucking find the other timestamp on this bitch.
Okay. Yeah, I know we were covering this video, but then we trailed off immediately.
Oh, no, there was just only one other little minor point here. I think 10-12. Let's see. Here we go. Perfect. And play.
How do you find the sincerity of Sandinista leaders?
I was impressed. Now, obviously, I will be attacked by every editorial writer in the Free Press for being a dumb dupe. Maybe I am. I was impressed by their intelligence and by their sincerity. Ortega is an impressive guy.
More than 200 people have been killed in anti-government protests.
Wait, that sounded a little bit cut there, but I would like to look at the entire clip.
That's all I actually managed to see. There weren't links, I believe, to the full pieces.
Fuck. Okay.
I mean, it might have just...
Yeah, because it's like, it immediately jumps to Ortega is an impressive guy. I'm like, wait, hold on a moment. What did he say before that? What did he say after that?
I'll be completely honest, and again, to my eternal shame, when someone says Ortega to me, I had no idea. I feel like I've heard the name in the news. And I'm just here, I'm like, oh.
Ortega is a brand of, like, Mexican products in grocery stores.
Well, okay, that's not specifically what I think they're talking about.
I don't fucking know, man.
But yeah, I don't know. Specifically, I'll put it to you this way. There are things about Bernie Sanders that, to I guess normies, probably come off as red flags, not necessarily condemnations. Are we painting with a major, massive, conservative brush of calling Bernie Sanders socialist? He seems socialist friendly, at least. I don't know.
I mean, when you bring up the whole Castro thing, when he was in that 60 Minutes interview, what he said was... No,
I went back and looked. That's why I decided not to debate it in stream. And I was like,
because
it's story tracks.
It's an immediate straw man, fallacy. He's like, oh, you were praising Fidel Castro. Well, hold on a minute. Did you even look at what the fuck I said?
Well, the argument, the argument would have been if someone would have said, I think the Autobahn in Germany is well constructed. Oh, well, then that means no, that just means that road's really good.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. If Bernie Sanders pulled, let's say, a Jeremy Corbyn and praised Nicolas Maduro, then we have a problem. Then we have a fucking problem.
Yeah, I think this would have been a little bit easier if you would have chose to go with Corbyn.
Oh, no, here's the thing. If I saw him say that, I'd be out. I'd be out immediately. But in terms of, like, what a lot of his policies and views are, I wouldn't agree with all of them. Obviously not. I don't think that everybody, like, has, like, pinpoint accuracy on where their preferences line up to. but where my preferences line up, like a lot of his line up to mine. So that's why I support him. Now, does it look like it's only going to take a fucking miracle for him to win the nomination? Yeah, at this point, yeah. I refuse to vote for a fucking guy like Biden. You can't even fucking speak.
Well, no, I'm not asking you to vote for Biden. My standard lazy as shit answer is he looks like he's into kids.
Yeah, that too. I've been seeing so many people. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna fucking vote for a pedophile. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know how Bernie's losing. I'm like, that should be a lock. Is he just not being brutal enough on the mic? Like,
boy. Actually, yeah, I would say that is one of the reasons. He has this tendency to say, look, Joe is a good friend of mine, or Elizabeth Warren is a good friend of mine. And I would say that, okay, I mean, if you're friends, you're friends. At the same time, though, you have to remember what you're in right now.
Yeah, you can tell him that afterwards.
Yeah, you can tell him that afterwards. Or, well, he has been attacking to much degree on Biden, on, you know, let's say his large history of cutting Social Security. It's just not enough. I don't think he does it enough. So what I'm wondering is that on this upcoming debate on Sunday, is he going to do that? Like, you need like this one last ditch effort to go hard on him. Otherwise, you are completely 100% fucked.
Well, there's enough delegates, I'm told, in the next thing coming up where it could definitely swing the other way.
Yeah, because his delegate league, I think delegate lead is like, I don't know, like 200, and there are still, I don't know, half the delegates still up for grabs. Pennsylvania is still voting. New York is still voting. Oregon, a lot of other states are still voting. I know Florida has basically lost cause. He's not going to win Florida, obviously. He still has a shot, but Biden has such like a momentum going right now, and also with his default support, that's another humongous thing that people need to understand is just by name recognition alone. It's like, oh, he was in the Obama, he was Obama's vice president. I'll vote for him.
I get that.
You know,
I get that too, but I mean, I don't remember anyone ever speaking kindly of Joe. Even during the election, I could swear that the media kind of used to make fun of Biden. I don't remember any.
Somebody just sent me the delegate count. So where the delegate count is right now, so Biden's at 864 and Bernie's at 710. In terms of the total delegates, Biden really doesn't have that like insurmountable lead where, oh yeah, I'm objectively going to win. It could still turn around, but I don't know if it can. I really don't know.
I mean, it did look like it when Bernie broke out there, freaking Biden wasn't in like the top 3 when these sort of things started out. So, I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, he was the front runner at the very beginning, and then Iowa happened, and then I think he got like in 4th place or 5th place in Iowa. I don't remember. He did pretty terrible in New Hampshire, and he got creamed on in Nevada. And then South Carolina came on, and we're like, okay, we're probably going to lose. You know, Biden's probably going to win South Carolina by default anyways because of older black voters. We just know it's probably going to happen. And then he scored his big victory there. And then leading up to Super Tuesday, what happened was...
Wait a minute, I just... one sec, I think I just won $50. I'm reading Love Step here, and Biden sniffs children, and all politicians are bad, and Zionists. Isn't that the bet, Step, that you couldn't talk shit about the...
Oh, I'm just telling you right now, he has failed at that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what, Leo, you can collect that whenever you want. Transferable debt. I had a feeling.
Oh yeah, no, Step can't fucking help himself.
I was just assuming. You know what? I was like, this will be mutually beneficial. Oh no, I had a feeling.
So what, he gave you like a 50?
No, yeah, I was like, I can't specifically bitch about fucking top of the barrel, and you can't bitch about Jews. And fucking, I've been waiting.
So now you're gonna.
No. I'll keep it going. It's been fun.
Oh, okay.
Spoken Mind started arguing with me like this counts as that. I'm like, no, this counts as you. I'm talking to just you right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing the thing where you say, oh, it's good old barrel move, good barrel move.
No, I basically, well, I didn't want to say it on Twitter because I know Spoken Mind is familiar with the reported mark. But I was like, you're basically up on his dick right now. Fucking.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very close there. Anyways,
No,
as
I
was saying,
don't
though,
want to.
leading
I
up
don't want to
to,
break up that beautiful relationship that Archer and Spoken Mind have. I mean,
Excuse me?
whatever relationship she's in,
Oh God, yeah, I know. Yeah, no, Leo fucking ripped him on that. It was like everybody in the barrel chat was like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?" I think he said that. I love her like her accent or something. Everybody in the chat is like, "Dude, why are you being such a creep?"
Oh, I thought he was just assing off. I didn't think he was. I thought he was just being awkwardly goofy.
I mean, well, we saw it as him being a creep.
Like what was he specifically doing that was like super creepy?
Because apparently he's done similar things like that before, according to Leo. Don't ask me for like, you know.
All right, I'll have to talk to Leo later, unless he whoever's around. He's been creepy to Opal too. What?
Excuse me?
I beg your pardon. This
creepy to.
Leo, if you're around, or we could grab Archer and chuck his ass in the goddamn call right now. I'm not exactly thrilled about that. We could.
I mean, yeah, we could talk about primaries later.
Yeah, no. I'm fucking. Let's see. I'm not even gonna ask him.
Shit.
I think this is your room, so because it won't let me. Oh, here, I'll send. Add me so I can freaking chuck somebody in here.
Oh, let's hear what is Step saying. Wasn't the rule I'm not allowed to blame Jews for my problems? Also, I'm not talking about Jews. I'm saying I'm Jewish.
Well, fucking whatever. I believe Stalin here has told me that you lost that a long time ago. That was for our mutual benefit to make us, I guess, more fucking less caricatures of ourselves. And if you want to throw that away, Step, that's on you.
I don't know. Step is a punching bag, so.
All right, let's see, Archer.
Fuck, I guess I can close all my tabs. Shit.
Is Leo around? One sec. No, I already tore into him. I'd like to know too. Oh wait, I gotta join the other one. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Archer, are you in the call?
He's not in yet. Or
Okay.
if he is going to join, I don't fucking know.
Oh, he's playing
yeah,
TF2. Yeah, you're gonna have to get out of the call with the.
Yeah, as I was saying though, apparently that wasn't like the first time he was saying something to Spoken. I guess I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was just some cringy fucking goofy shipping bullshit nonsense. Is how I took it. I'm like, oh, look at him. He's being a retard. Oh, like legit creepy. Like, okay,
I perceive that as creepy. Like, you don't just say that to somebody, especially.
I like her accent. I was like, oh, I took that as like the nerdy, like, I like girls. Anyways,
it's like you don't even know her, and you don't even have like prior knowledge to know that if she is already in a relationship or married. I mean, she is in a relationship with somebody over there in was it fucking Belgium? I don't remember, but you should probably know that, and he didn't. And he's doing it fucking anyways, regardless. I think he's just being fucking retarded, and to an extent, yeah.
Well, what exactly happened with Opal though? If you don't,
I don't know. I do not know anything about that.
Hi, Archer. What happened between you and Opal? What was that all about?
Something happened between me and Opal.
That's what Leo said.
What? What the flip did I do?
I got some bad news here, my man. The most vaunted, respected man between both of the biggest pred hunting communities sat there and said that you did something goofy to Opal. Might want to start explaining.
What the heck did I do to Opal?
I don't know. I'm asking you, bro.
What have I done?
Who's this? Oh, it's Step. Let's see. What is it? I can explain the Archer thing. All right, you're coming in, Step.
Okay.
Bunk.
I can explain the Archer thing.
All right, now if my audio sounds shit,
that's fine. It's perfectly good.
Okay.
So Archer, you will shush and let me explain. Then you can
Okay,
respond
go
after
ahead.
I'm done. All right, so basically, it was me, Leo, Opal, Archer, and a few others in a call and barrel.
Okay.
We were trying to see how quickly Opal can find Leo's docs. It took her 2 hours.
Okay.
We were all making fun of her, and she was playing along. Archer kept saying really weird things like, "Oh, you guys are being too hard on Opal," and it's like, "Oh, Opal needs
Okay,
to.
in what
Opal,
way
you
would
need,
that
you
make
need
you
to take
I hope
care
it's a
of
little
yourself.
bit more than
Opal,
that.
you're strong. Opal, you're independent. Opal, you're.
I have not said those words, you idiot.
Was he
You
doing
totally
the meme?
did.
You're a strong, independent black woman that don't need no man.
No, but he was saying really weird things.
Okay, what were
in
those
that
weird
call.
things, sir?
I just explained a few of them. Leo
And I
probably
said
remembers-
none of those things.
Yes, you did in that call. Leo
okay,
could
which
probably
one did I
explain
say?
a few others I'm forgetting. But you kept saying these really weird, flirty things with Opal in that call the entire
What
time.
flirty
We
things?
told you multiple times to chill out, and you just kept playing it off as a meme when we were being dead serious the entire
Jeez.
time. You will not N-word me, sir.
Yeah, no, no,
Too
don't do
late.
this shit.
Sorry.
I N-word you. But listen, every time this happens every time. This even happened with the
How?
shut up. This even happened with the fur affinity thing when he wouldn't show us the search history even after we asked him. He plays everything. Every time any of us criticize him, anytime any of us give him some of the action.
Leo, are you open?
He plays it off. As,
Yeah, Leo is
Plays it
saying
off.
that reread the chat.
Reread the chat. Steps incorrect. Is
how am I
incorrect.
incorrect? What did I say?
Reread.
Yes, because you're a moron. That's why you're incorrect.
Yeah, I think Leo is more knowledgeable of this. Keeping in mind.
All right,
that
I think he
was-
says he's ready. All right, we're gonna chuck in Leo.
Oh,
if he
God.
gets going. Yeah,
Sorry,
no, I
yeah,
was
'cause-
about to.
I wasn't around when I was only around when Archer did the thing where I love her accents. That's the only thing I was around.
All right, someone feel free
Yeah.
to clip this good part of the podcast.
Yeah,
You're not
we
going
go
anywhere,
from,
Archer. Yeah,
Leo, how am I wrong? I feel like I
yeah.
explained.
If you can't talk, just type it in the chat. How old are you, Archer?
19.
Oh, well, it's not that horrific. Yeah.
Put the brakes on. Put
Okay.
the brakes on. Okay. Well, it is fun to make fun of Archer.
Yes.
Archer is not being anywhere near as terrible as it was hyped up.
Okay.
Archer's creepiness is something that, number one, has been addressed.
Okay.
And number two is more in the vein of Archer spends most of his time around women, so he emulates them and doesn't understand when what he's saying sounds creepy. What he was saying to Opal was, "You are precious. You should be protected."
I did not say
all right,
precious.
hold on.
You did
Was,
say that.
was Archer trying to play the gay boyfriend?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
What does that mean?
you trying to play like Ryan Reno Mills or the dude with sass, or like I probably
I don't
shouldn't.
even
I
know
probably
who that
shouldn't use
is.
Panzer as an example, but it would have been if you.
But more importantly, this was addressed. This has already been addressed.
All right, I heard it and Stalin agreed with me, so we're like, all right, let's talk to her.
And I was yelling at you in the chat like this.
Okay, all right.
What
Well,
chat?
all I know is that Archer is around my precious girlfriend, and I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything weird going on. That's all.
Okay, full
Okay.
disclosure. Archer is very strange, and he is very weird, and he has a lot of issues. But if you're worried about him creeping on your girlfriend, that's highly unlikely for two reasons. Number one, I don't think the man has the stones to actually hit on somebody like Rouge because he'd get his teeth kicked in. And then two, I'm going to come after him after you're done with him. And I think he wants that type of heat because I know where he lives.
Oh,
This is what
God.
he always does.
Well, no one's going to fly
Every
out to
time.
Jamaica. Come on. Anyways.
Hey,
Anthony,
right now, airline tickets are very cheap due to coronavirus. Don't tempt me.
Okay.
I've had a pretty bad coughing
Panic
for
by
the
now.
past couple of days.
yeah.
I've had a pretty bad coughing for the past couple of days. I could always go over to Jamaica.
Don't nobody give a frick about you.
Archer, stop.
No.
It reminds me of the cat paw meme where it goes out and goes, "It's time to stop typing."
Time to stop typing. Exactly.
So I think that's a good place to wrap things up, perhaps. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you wanna talk more later, Anthony, I'm right here.
Okay. Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah, Stalin loves to talk politics. He talks
Yeah,
to the freak. He's the guy. He is Balaam who will talk to the donkey if the donkey starts talking politics.
Yeah,
Destroy the pumpkin
the
button.
only thing I was like, oh lol, it's time to argue about politics. Literally anybody. And the first time I started doing it was with some furry that I actually had managed to piss off, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't get this one to block me. Maybe who can I argue politics with where I won't burn any bridges? Looks Vita. Oh, that's beautiful. I can't possibly lose any more friends over there. That was literally it.
Good lord.
All right, and